Today on the LA Food Podcast. An intro coming to you from a man in Las Vegas who is increasingly looking like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems as the roulette tables grow ever more unkind night after night. Father Sal's back amongst the living today. We're back with our second ever Q&A following the raging success of our 150th episode edition. Y'all went wild with this one, asking about full of shit influencers, why certain, quote, fucking terrible, unquote, restaurants are always full, and even our advice on how to find a wife. On Chef's Kiss Big Miss, the dude who killed cats and horses is adamant he did not kill said cats. An SGV institution is forced to remove its signature item from the menu due to community complaints of stinkiness, and the Noma whistleblower comes under ever-increasing scrutiny. In part 2, an interview with master pizza chef Daniele Uditi of Pizzana fame, live from Pizza Expo in Las Vegas. We discuss what he learned from his most recent project, Lele Dinner Club, and then get serious about busting pizza myths. We ask ourselves things like, should a pizza really have no flop? Is Neapolitan pizza always soupy? And are people justified in expecting their dollar slices to remain $1? Pizza Nation, stand up. You're going to fucking love this one. A reminder that the LA Food Podcast is part of the Acquired Taste Media family. Be sure to listen to the latest episode of Takianda with Bill Esparza, our sister podcast. As always, I'm your host, Luca Servodio, and without further ado, it's time to chow down. This episode of the LA Food Podcast is presented by our friends at MVA.wine. I recently sat down with Laurent Verns and Tito Malega, the people behind MVA.wine, and my first reaction was, wait, why isn't everybody doing wine like this? They treat wine the way we treat food on this show. It's all about discovery, not the obvious places, the tiny producers, the bottles you only find when someone points you in the right direction. Here's how it works. They gather at a farmhouse in Tuscany and blind taste 50 or 60 wines. Every bottle has to get a unanimous yes, and only 6 make the cut. Oh, and every time they go to Tuscany for those tastings, they bring 2 members along, all expenses paid. That could be you, dear listener. The wines that make it into the collections come from incredible producers whose bottles rarely leave their region, wines you simply can't find in stores in LA or anywhere. Membership is capped at 600 people, and for LA Food Podcast listeners, the first 20 people who sign up with code LAFood get $50 off their first collection. Go to mva.wine/subscribe and use code LAFood. That's mva.wine/subscribe, code LAFood. You can thank me later. Welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast, the prodigal son / prodigal father of this parish. It's Father Sal. Father Sal, let me ask you this. Which side are you on, Chapel Roan or Child?
What the fuck? Is this the soccer news?
Yeah.
That Chapel Roan security guard was really mean to an 11-year-old and made her cry, but that 11-year-old was the daughter of a famous soccer player who put her on blast in international news.
That's correct.
Look, kids cry pretty easily, man. Like, stuff happens. You can't be holding every adult accountable for making some 11-year-old cry.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
No, I think that's a fair take. I mean, in her defense, Chapel did say that it was not her security guard, that it was the hotel security guard. But I have a feeling that if Chapel had done it directly, she would have come down even harder. She seems like that kind of person.
If she had confronted the 11-year-old directly, she would have.
Correct.
I don't know. Chapel seems like someone who... she seems like she keeps her anger for the right people, paparazzi,
fans,
and no. Doesn't she get mad at her fans too? She gets mad at. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I respect it. Fans suck. Fans are the most annoying people. Like,
are you? Does that mean next time somebody sees you in the wild and says hi, you're just gonna like go postal on them?
I don't have fans. I have people who unpleasant reality of people whose algorithms have cursed them with knowledge of me. I don't blame them. I blame Instagram. I blame you mainly.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I would never judge someone for doing that.
Fair enough. Well, hey, we've got an incredible episode today because after the success of our 150th episode Q&A, we're going to start doing it on a quarterly basis. So this is the Q1 Q&A for 2026. Say that 5 times fast. But before we get there, Saul, I want to hear about what you've been eating recently because you haven't been on in like several weeks now.
I haven't been on in several weeks, but 2 of those weeks I was in Seattle
I'm so sorry.
living the hotel life. Yeah, no, it was rough. It was freezing. It sucked. It was rain. No, actually, last time it was raining, but it wasn't too cold. When I went before that, it was really really cold. Anyway, so I only have a couple options. I'm gonna pick out two. One, me and Emily and her brother went to do an escape room at 60 Out in Hollywood.
Hmm.
They have a couple good rooms there. Good room designer. I recommend it. Not the very very best you can experience in LA, but very solid. And they are a mere 2 blocks south of Leo's Tacos, across from Target. Great little spot. Perfect afternoon on a Saturday. Do an escape room. Get a Leo's Taco. I think Ben hadn't had them before. Emily's brother. So I got to introduce him to the Al Pastor. They were hits. Got to watch some people smoke, I think, crack, and then come ask us for money. And you had to be like in the mat, like, okay, I don't want to engage with this person, but it's probably easier just give the money. And so we did that.
Yeah, that is. So you basically just had the quintessential Hollywood afternoon.
I mean, it was an ideal Leo's Taco experience, I think, in Hollywood. Yeah, it's like as good as it gets. Yeah. That's one. The other was same crew, me, Emily, and then her brother and his wife. They very kindly took us out to drinks to celebrate our wedding, and at a drugstore Cowboy in Silver Lake.
Oh, why have I heard of this? Where is it?
It's literally. I mean, I'm gonna forget the fucking name of the intersection. It's like that really big intersection right down the street from Akbar. Am I getting this wrong?
Oh, the one that's like yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like where Fountain meets Sunset?
Yes, Fountain. Fountain and Sunset right there. Yep. And when we were heading there, I was like, I just have the feeling this is going to be a Gen Z experience. I don't know why, because we had recently done our Echo Park crawl.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that was like I didn't feel out of place. Like you hit Cafe Tropical, or no, not Cafe Tropical. That's
the semi-tropic.
The semi-tropic. Yeah, I'm mixing up my Silver Lake and Echo Park institutions.
No, we were like weirdly age appropriate for that crawl.
Thunderbolt, right? Like you fit in. I was like, I think this is good. I think we're going to be like the oldest people there. And we went and we were.
Really?
And I don't normally, I mean, not in an obvious way, not in a bad way. Like you wouldn't walk in and be like, oh, they're the oldest. But when I was looking around, I was like, these are 20 years.
Yes.
I can tell. And I had this thought in my mind because I was like, this is a bar I would have loved when we lived here. Sports bar, by the way, great sports bar setup. I was immediately like, oh shit, this is like a great place to come watch a game. They have TVs inside as well as on the back patio.
Wow.
Back patio also has pool, and open back patio, you can have some accoutrements to your drink. You know what I mean? That
you can smoke some crack like the person outside Leo's, is what you're saying?
If you so desire. It's a mix that I always appreciated about bars in LA in particular. So Drugstore Cowboy, lovely time. Would go back. We should go back and watch a game. Frankly.
We should. We just need the right game to watch. I guess right now, as we're speaking, the Pistons are playing the Lakers. That would have been a good one.
Yeah, that would have been a good call. Sixers are playing the Thunder. That's going to go great. Can't wait for that.
Yeah. That's going to be super fun. Okay, I didn't actually do any drinking. I wish I had a bar to compare to your bar, but I did do some eating myself. I've been continuing the pizza countdown, and I've had a lot of pizza, honestly. Like last week, I ate at 4 different pizzerias. Not getting sick of it yet. I'm only going to have more pizza this week because I'm going to Pizza Expo in Las Vegas.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, should be fun. But I went to a spot on Abbot Kinney that I just had always seen and heard of and been aware of, but never actually considered going for the pizza countdown. I went literally just because I was interviewing Brian Borneman over at Crudo and Nudo on Main Street. And I was like, what's the closest pizza to here? It's Abbott's Pizza on Abbot Kinney. So I walk into Abbott's Pizza, and first of all, like the pies look pretty damn good. Like I wasn't expecting this. They had like really thick cornichones, like really nice, like, spider web happening in the interior, great bake. And I'm thinking to myself, like, is this just like a hidden gem and it's always been a hidden gem? So have the pizza, go do some work at Intelligentsia. And then when I'm walking back to my car, I pass by Abbott's again, and inside I see this guy that I recognize from past Pizza Expos. He's the only other Lazio fan I know in the city, and his name is Mario. He's this Roman pizza guy who used to make pizza at South End Pizzeria in Venice, but he's since closed that spot to open a Japanese restaurant. Turns out he's taken over the dough program or has been helping out with the dough program at Abbott's Pizza. So he's completely reimagined it. He's used as a starter something called Roman biga, which is kind of like Roman sourdough. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. But nobody's talking about this. I feel like this is maybe my first ever find.
Wow. I love it. This is so exciting. And what's interesting about it is that it's like you found an evolution of a place, right? You didn't find the location,
Correct.
but you discovered maybe an even more important thing, because who would report on it? A new leader of the kitchen who might be bringing some skill. Do you have any idea of how good Abbott was before this?
I have a feeling it was really mid. Like its reputation was kind of so that they were known for this salad pizza, which is basically like a cheese pizza with salad on top, but they would sprinkle everything bagel seasoning on the crust to make it like everything bagel crust. And it was famous for that. They're still doing that pizza, but with Mario's new dough. Based on the flavors on that salad pizza, you kind of know what you kind of get a feel for what kind of pizzeria it was before, and it's very much like neighborhood pizza parlor. Nothing special, you know?
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing special, but yeah.
Nothing wrong, but nothing to cross town for. Now, I'm not saying it's something to cross town for, but certainly I think it's like a premier slice option on the West Side.
Bro, look, I think you might have just done journalism accidentally. That's what might have happened here.
Accidental journalism, my favorite. And then the other meal I wanted to shout out, it was our 3-year wedding anniversary. Thank you for remembering to send us a congratulations.
Fuck, it was on my calendar, bro. Literally, I'm so annoyed. I did this thing because when I have a full day event, like a birthday or a wedding anniversary, that my calendar reminds me the full day before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not useful. I'm just going to forget.
Yes.
So I remember I literally opened it and I changed it to remind me the day of, and it probably did. And I was like in Seattle and I just forgot.
Listen, congratulations from you would have just made the day worse, in my opinion. So
I feel, well, I was feeling particularly bad because you guys did so much for our wedding, and I've been like, yeah, fuck off on yours.
You did a lot for our wedding, and you also happened to officiate it, so we can call it square.
Fair enough.
But we celebrated in Santa Barbara, as we do every year, and for dinner, we revisited Dom's Taverna from our good friends Dominique Crisp, and again, a reminder that judging a restaurant based off your first visit, especially for a new restaurant, isn't always the best move. Now, that's not to say Dom's Taverna wasn't good the first time. It was great. But now it's even better. Like it makes sense, right? Everything's more dialed in. They've had almost like 7 to 9 months to like hone their service. The food it rotates because the whole premise there is kind of like a lot of these places by the ocean don't actually serve the seafood from that ocean, ironically. And Dom's like novel concept is they're actually going to serve the seafood from Santa Barbara. So we get there and Dom says, hey, we actually have just 4 soles that came in today. 4 soles. Would you like one? And so we ordered one of the soles. I'm not really a whole fish guy. I know you are.
Ugh.
Dude, you would have literally just crapped your pants at the table. This was one of the best dishes I've had all year because it was so simple. It was the most melt in your mouth whole fish, just with like this beautiful fish broth that he made with like chunks of like garlic in there. Perfect. Absolute perfection. Dunk some bread in the broth, dude. It was insane.
Damn, I really want this. This sounds really good. I need to find a reason to get to Santa Barbara. Maybe when my sister's visiting a couple times this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take her out.
No, Dom's Taverna, I can't say enough good things. I really think that in the next few years, they could be in the running for one of those like James Beard Regional Awards or something. Because the simple, like radical act of serving seafood that is local, like from local fishermen in Santa Barbara and on that part of the coast, which is known for seafood. Like, you know, Gilberto Cetina gets a lot of his seafood from there, right? Like the fact that you couldn't really get that in Santa Barbara before they started doing their thing, it's kind of mind melding. So really excited to eat there again. You'll have to go sometime.
Mind melding? It's mind melding?
Yeah, better than mind melting or mind. Yeah, it fuses your minds with other minds. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
totally what I meant to say.
Very cool. Good shout. Oh yeah, you have one more.
It did remind me of something. Didn't you try Piscator?
No, dude, I didn't. Because I felt really bad because it was whatever high in demand. It took me a minute to get it, but I got it for 5 p.m. the day we drove back from Los Alamos. and it was like for me it was across this, like there was traffic. It would have been another 2 hours of driving after I drove home, and I was just like, I don't want to. I don't.
You let it lapse? Wow.
I let it pass. I let it lapse. I feel confident now that when it comes back, I can get a res, but I don't know. Like I don't know when they'll be back again or when the next drop is or whatever. I also will say I'm like, it's just Branzino.
Yeah.
Like I know it's just gonna be Branzino. I do want to enjoy it. I would love to go with. By the way, I was also gonna go like by myself, and I was like, I kind of just want to go with someone if I'm gonna go do this.
Fair.
So maybe next time it's that little ripper. I'll get us a 2-person order and see if you can come join me, and we can do that.
Well, it's right down the street for us,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we'd absolutely be down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and next time we go to Dom's, you'll have to come because I mean, I was thinking about you the entire time. I ate that fish, which is not the ideal thing to be thinking of during your anniversary dinner. So thanks for that.
Entirely appropriate in my mind. Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Dom's Taverna, everybody go check it out. I spent the weekend asking people for questions, and we got quite a few questions in addition to people from our lives who submitted some questions. I'm particularly excited to get to Emily's questions at the bottom here. But I wanted to start with a couple of the more unhinged ones. Before we do, Saul, I sort of have an ethical question for you. So these first two questions are particularly spicy, and they're from a well-known Los Angeles chef and restaurateur.
Ooh.
Do I name them?
No, or yes?
No.
I don't know. No, you can't because what you would have had to have done ethically is let them know it came from that. It was you would name them before we got here. I in my personal opinion, right? You accepted the questions anonymously. You didn't say, send a question and let me know if you want to be shouted out.
Yes. Yeah,
which
fair enough.
Which would have made it okay.
I mean, I think it's fine to shout out the people where the questions are like a little less spicy, you know?
I don't know. That should make a difference. He's just asking. Okay, he asked one spicy question.
Yeah.
One spicy question.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. But I think because it's
I think no. I think don't name them. And I say we even skip that question because I haven't been to the place that's being addressed, so I don't even know what to say about it.
We're gonna have to address it now that you brought it up, but also I'll address it because there's a bigger question to me there. Anyways, we'll get there. Okay, the first question from this restaurateur who will not be named unless he reaches out and says we can name him is this. Number one, which influencers are particularly full of shit? Influencers who are particularly full of shit. Saul, do you have an opinion on this?
So I assume he means LA ones, and I have less of an opinion on that because I'm frankly I deleted Instagram last year, and it's not missed except for the fact that I really do realize I deleted it. I go on maybe like once a week, if that.
Yeah.
And I just do a quick scan of news. I send you a couple articles. I'm out of there again.
I get a bevy of likes in one day, which is great.
Yeah. I catch up on all my likes for your posts. I send you an article or two and I go. But the reality is, it's the best source of food news for me, both in terms of like seeing what's hot and like blowing up and coming through, and for restaurant news, things like the Bruce pop up that I sent you about, which I hadn't known about before.
Yeah.
It also is, of course, where the influencers are. I've seen a couple of influencers for LA on YouTube, but they're fewer and far between, and they all seem fine. But because of that, because I don't have as much of an insight into the LA influencer scene, I have some people whose name I can't even remember, but whose faces I can see, who I think are corny.
Yeah.
Who I think are like a little corny.
Like who? Come on, describe them to me. We can reverse engineer.
Someone might eat in their car a lot. And I know it's a lot of people, but there might be a particular someone who's very well known for that.
I think you're talking about how Kev eats.
I have nothing wrong with this person. They're totally fine. They're really good at what they do. They're legitimately they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's just not my flavor, which is totally fine. All whatever, hat tip to them.
Yeah. I think I have a good answer to this. I think it's less useful to actually think about specific influencers and to really come up with like influencer categorizations in your mind.
Awesome. Can you delete everything I just said then?
No, absolutely not. We're keeping it in. Well, to me, there are three categories of influencers, right? Number one, and I think this is a category that this person that asked the question might think are influencers that are full of shit. I don't think so. It's influencers who do this as a job. It's influencers who need to like who basically take money from restaurants because that is their way of like making a living, and they go out and they make videos for those restaurants. I wouldn't even think of them as like restaurant reviewers. I would think of them as like freelance videographers, basically,
Yeah.
that these restaurants are contracting to make high quality, entertaining content of their products. And I don't think that's full of shit. It's just part of this influencer economy, personally.
It's a little iffy because they are trusted voices, like whose opinion is being quote unquote bought. For I understand the framing of like video, essentially contracted videographers, but it's not just a videographer; it's a videographer and a recommendation. And their followers may not have an understanding of the relationship that they have with the financial relationship that they have with the restaurant that they're posting about.
For sure, but I think that you should always go like, let's level set here. I think in general, whenever you see an influencer post, you should go into it with some level of like understanding that
Skepticism,
there may have been an exchange there, right? Secondly, the second category are people who don't take money from restaurants, but that who have really large audiences because they got into this game pretty early. And these are people like How Kev Eats or Rick Locks and people like that. Now, to be clear, I don't actually think they're full of shit. I don't think they're full of
They're
shit.
not.
They're
not.
just famously.
I'm just saying they're not because I don't want to get in trouble.
I think you may not agree with like their perspectives. I also think people typically like criticize them because they feel like, oh, these people don't actually know what they're talking about. They're not experts, right? And people treat them like experts. Okay, whatever. Like everybody is on the internet. Everybody has the ability to voice an opinion. It's kind of up to you to make a judgment on as to whether you will trust that opinion or not. But influencers like How Kev Eats and Rick Locks are not taking money from restaurants. They just have big audiences. So I don't think they're full of shit. The third category, and this is the category I am skeptical of, and I'm not going to name names, but people in like wise listeners will know the type of influencers I'm talking about. It's the influencers who don't take money from restaurants, but who basically make content that is just designed at pissing people off in order to get a big following, and will do anything in order to do that, including spewing opinions that they don't actually probably believe. They just know it will be controversial.
Right.
And there are influencers who are getting large followers with this rage bait approach. To me, that is the most full of shit approach, period.
It's a really good answer. I think you did a really good job there. Yeah, I would say so. No notes.
You can see which one of us. Well, can I ask you this, Saul?
Yeah.
Which category do you think I fall in?
You fall into the second category. The only caveat being that, like you, like because you said for second categories, people who have been around for a long time and they just like do it for the love of the game, but they've built a following. I mean, you've not been around as long as How Kev Eats, I think, or Rick Locks for sure.
No.
But you've done that is your path, right? You've been around now for a solid 6 years. You've built a following. You do not take money from restaurants. Other products. We won't name, but it'll happen. It'll happen. There, you gotta make a buck.
You got to make money somehow, just not from restaurants.
And it's very clear when you have sponsored content. It's
Yeah.
like not a
It's literally labeled as such, and I'm talking about like taking pills so I don't fart my brains out after I eat ice cream. Like people know what it's spawn content.
You're selling, bro. You're selling those pills. You're doing great. So yeah, you're category number 2. I will say there is a
fourth OnlyFans.
I wouldn't even not OnlyFans. I think. Can I say this? Can I say who I think the best food influencer in the world is? Can I say that?
I know who you're going to say.
What am I gonna say?
Rob Martinez.
Rob Martinez, man, he is the best. Yeah.
But that's like everybody saying that like Meryl Streep is their favorite actress. It's like fucking get an original opinion, okay?
I've never heard anyone else say this necessarily, except for comments on Rob's posts or whatever. But that's kind of where you would find it.
I hear everybody say this. They're like, who I really like? It's like, yeah, fucking brilliant, mate. Yeah. All right, next question. From the same chef. Why is Craig's such a busy, absolutely terrible fucking restaurant? Saul, are you familiar with Craig's?
I only know Craig's is the place where comedians famously like to go. That's what I know.
And celebrities.
Sure.
I mean, this is the question answers itself, my friend. It's a celebrity hotspot. I think the bigger question is, why are there so many busy but absolutely fucking terrible restaurants in West Hollywood in general?
I don't know. I truly no, and I don't mean that as like a cop out. I mean, I would say West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, right, to an extent. Yeah, I don't know. I think some places get by on vibe,
Yeah.
maybe more than quality, and they get by on reputation. I think what tends to maybe happen in places where celebrities and by the way, social scenes frequent a lot. Also, one I would say it's a power lunch and power dinner town over there,
Yeah.
in my opinion, in particular. And I think maybe sometimes less interesting restaurants tend to thrive in those environments because they're not trying to serve necessarily always exciting, ambitious cuisine or even necessarily particularly good cuisine. They're trying to serve like least common denominator takes for your high powered business person, who might be coming into town or whatever.
Or tourists. Like it's so
And
central.
tourists.
It's so
Yeah.
central. Like it's right by Hollywood. It's right by Beverly Hills. I honestly, if you notice a lot of the like big openings that come from like chefs who are not from here, the Uchis of the world, the Darling by Sean Brock, I think that they like get bamboozled into opening in West Hollywood because they're like, oh, it's super central. It's like really, it's glitzy, like Lisa Vanderpump had restaurants, like whatever it is. I don't know what the reasons are, but they open there thinking it's going to be a smart business move. And then unfortunately, I feel like for a restaurant to actually succeed, you've got to have a balance. You can have hype, you need to have the business lunches, you can have the tourism, but you've also got to have regulars. And I feel like West Hollywood, these restaurants for the most part are not restaurants that attract regulars other than Craig's.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? It's until so like I can imagine certain restaurants become quote unquote regular spots for business meetings for people who live in LA and
Yeah.
do business or know they want to take a client there or something like that, or they like are consistently on the tourist list. It makes sense that these bigger out of town from like Vegas and New York restaurants would go to that area, higher disposable income, I think. Right, so like more money to spend
For sure.
and it kind of fits the energy, right? It kind of like is a similar thing. So yeah, I think that's all fair insight.
Okay. So we'll see you at Craig's, Chef, and we'll have a great time.
Should we go? We'll go. I'll go.
Fuck it, we'll go. I will go. I think they have pizza. I should do a pizza review.
Yeah, do it. That would actually be great.
On to the next one from friend of the pod, Hillary Werner. She asked, who are the 5 most underrated chefs in LA and why? I'm just going to say, let's just each do one because otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah, you go first.
I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's Joseph Centeno.
Oh, yeah.
Has held a Michelin star. He's had incredible, innovative restaurants in Los Angeles for the better part, like going on over a decade, some going on 2 decades. And yet, when you talk about the best chefs in Los Angeles, he's rarely mentioned. And to me, that's like hugely underrated. So Joseph Centeno, that's the answer.
That's maybe the best answer. I mean, underrated while having held a star is tricky, and being such an established restaurateur in the city is tricky. But I think, like as you're thinking about this question, it's who is doing great stuff but isn't getting talked about in like the national or even statewide, like regional, mainstream media conversation that much. I can't say this yet because we haven't gone yet, so I know that's cheating. I know that's cheating, but we are going to go. I owe you dinner there. The dude at Sora, I think is still underrated.
Yeah. I could see that. Also because like he got a lot of good press at the end of last year, but it's kind of it's like peaks and valleys of press for him,
So Okai Enoch. I'm not saying that right. I know that, but
perfect.
It's because of what he's executing and how that I think I find that the most interesting. I look. Every single chef that comes to mind, and I think this question is just a chef that's already had too much media coverage. I need to hang out more with, I guess, the chefs that are, because I don't meet chefs that much. You tend to meet chefs. I don't like.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I feel like every chef I meet thinks they're the most underrated chef in the entire city,
and probably fairly, dude. I mean, like, I get it. Our friends at Etra, they could say that. Like that's a lovely meal.
It's true. I do think like unfortunately, there's only so much media and awards and shit to go around. Like, if that is how you judge your success, you're gonna feel underrated. Period. Like recently I dropped a list of the like 10 best restaurants in Highland Park, and I got a like pretty angry DM from one of the restaurateurs in Highland Park being like, it's a joke that I'm not on here. And
damn.
I mean, he was kind of right. Like, you know what I mean? But like, there's so many good restaurants in Highland Park. Like, I left a bunch of good restaurants.
Don't do a top 10. Just list them all, baby. Just say them. Give them shout outs.
Yeah, yeah, but unfortunately, that's not how the algorithm works.
Yeah.
Blame it on the algorithm.
Oh my god.
Okay, on to the next one. Okay. This one comes from producer Rob, okay? And he says, when are we dropping the LA Taco Expose series? Saul, did you weren't here, but we got into a beef with LA Taco while you were gone.
Tell me more about this. What happened?
I mean, so what happened is that I got wind that a lot of people were very unhappy with the fact that LA Taco had not yet commented on the Rene Redzepi situation.
Mm-hmm.
Despite them always being like, first to the punch with a lot of these sort of like investigative expose angles. And so I called them out on a podcast in Shitty Up Review. And of course, Javier Cabral wrote an op-ed in which I believe he was making reference to me, given the fact that he name-checked Shitty Up Review. And yeah, so basically, to me, that's the end of the beef. Like, we don't need to go any further than that. But it seems like producer Rob wants to keep going.
Yeah, I would not keep going farther. So as far as I could tell, because I went back and checked, I will say this: you have sniped at LA Taco a couple times now.
Yeah,
I've heard like you have in the past, and I think you're wrong about it. I give you a shitty Yelp review for that. More generally, you've said that they're not local journalism on this podcast.
What do you mean?
You said that. I mean, like on a prior thing, you were like, this isn't. I mean, you said it with like an eye roll, right? But like that, like we should not. We talk so much about the importance of strong local news coverage in the places and the cities we care about. LA being the most important one, and they are doing it right. I get that they have flaws. You've called out their flaws in the past. I can't remember every single one.
No, I think I never didn't call them local journalism. I once took a shot at their independence because they put Guelaguetza as one of the best Mexican restaurants in the city.
That's right. That's what it was.
And they didn't disclose that Javier Cabral has a business relationship with Bricio Lopez. Right. That is the one time I've sniped at them. It seems fair.
Is it the one time? It clocked in my mind. When I saw the article, I was like, Luca's starting shit, man. You can't be starting shit like this. Now, I did go back and I checked, and the first time I could see LA Taco having written about Rene Redzepi and the Noma situation was, I think they posted about it March 12th, and they posted like on their Instagram, and a piece ran on posted about it on March 11th, and a piece ran on March 12th. This is after the New York Times expose.
This was the protest.
Yeah, this was the protest, but it wasn't covering the earlier sort of claims that had been made, right? So they and I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that. We should be supporting LA Taco as a whole.
I support them. I'm a subscriber. I said I love Memo Torres, like all these things. I just call out one thing. All of a sudden, I hate local journalism.
I'm just basing it on a couple comments you've made. I think it's more than this Guelaguetza thing and this thing. I think it might be. I understand where the shitty Yelp review came from. And by the way, Javier's op-ed on the Noma situation, I don't know if that was the moment for his particular angle on the situation.
No, it was not. It was also, I said it in the last episode, but hilarious. Like some things unintentionally hilarious.
A little, yeah. Maybe so, maybe so. But hey, look, that's why media exists. Get good coverage. Yeah. Get good perspectives. Good perspectives. Get perspectives, I guess, on things happening in our backyards.
So to answer your question, Rob, we're never dropping the LA Taco expose. We're supporters. We just talk about media and their media, and that's it. All right, next one from friend of the pod, Noah Galutin, who did a great job filling your shoes last week. So he asks, best sit-down Mexican with a full bar. You got any answers to this?
Any Mexican restaurant with a full bar. There's the closest. The answer is the closest Mexican restaurant to you with a full bar. My closest one is Tu Madre, right? Like right at the corner of Melrose and Larchmont. Look, maybe not my first choice of a Mexican restaurant, quote unquote, but the bar is actually pretty lovely and they have good drinks. Can't go wrong. If you're close to Damian is a lovely bar. Even high class. Like, you're not going to go wrong. Go to fucking whatever, El Compadre, right? Just go down the street. I mean,
well, that's the thing. I think there are two categories, right? One is the like old school Mexican American spot, right? And like that's like the El Compadres of the world. And then there's like the more modern, like mixology style bars, like the Damians. I agree with you. The closest one is the best usually.
The closest
But
one.
gun to
Yeah.
the head, if I had to pick, I would say my favorite old school one, just because of like sentimental reasons, has got to be El Coyote on Beverly.
Yeah, sure.
Sentimental.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
And then for like modern ones, I'm gonna say Mirate. Like I just love the bar program at Mirate. I love the food at Mirate. Like underappreciated restaurant in Los Angeles, in my opinion.
Yeah. Good shouts.
Now, his other question to me has the same answer that you just gave, and his other question was, "Where are the best Mexican breakfast plates in LA, like machaca and eggs?" To me, the answer to that one is literally just the closest one to you.
I was going through. I went to. I play like a couple times this year. I played soccer out at El Mansour Park in Alhambra, and afterwards I hit Mexicatessen, which is in I think Monterey Park, just a little bit south of that.
Hmm.
And I was and they're both their breakfast burritos and their plates. I don't know if they have machaca. I don't think they do, but that was one where I'm like, oh, and again, maybe it's the closest. Maybe it's because I'm eating it right after running for an hour or whatever. That's probably the reason. That has hit every time
Yeah.
really well.
Mexicatessen, you heard it here. You don't usually hear about like finds like that. For me, it's Delia's in Eagle Rock because that is the closest to me,
Oh yeah.
and their breakfast plates are undefeated. Like even whatever you order, they serve with these like really great house-made pinto beans, and also these beautiful little rolls that are like Hawaiian rolls. That they remind you of Hawaiian rolls. They toast them. It's fantastic. You could have anything with that and it'd be fantastic. So that's the answer. Next one is from
Love
underscore
it.
Christian. It's Christian with 3 R's. And he writes, would you be open to doing a series around ranking LA food pop-ups?
Hard yes, Christian. Absolutely. I love a pop up. Makes me happy. Even though I bailed on Piscator because it was far away. But if I hadn't, like generally speaking, I mean I know it's corny and I know it makes me a fucking mark or whatever. Pop
Yeah,
up is just fun.
it's fun.
I'm just gonna have a good time. And I mean the process of trying to find them, like learning about them and then going and yeah, absolutely.
So I got a little bit of shit because I chose Le Burg as my number one burger, and people were upset that like I picked a pop up. Do you think that there's any validity to them being pissed off that I picked a pop up as number one? And like B, does it just underscore the fact that pop ups should be on a separate list?
I don't think there is validity, and the only reason pop-ups should or may need to be on a separate list is because of their potential, that they're potentially fleeting.
Yeah.
So therefore, like if you're saying, "Oh, this is the best thing," and now a year later it doesn't exist. LeBurg has been around for a minute, and I think and hope it will continue to be. They seem like a pop-up where brick and mortar could be in their future potentially if they continue to go along. But think of the days with the barbecue pop up in LA,
Yeah.
right? Which are
Moose
still going
Craft.
on. Technically, yeah, Moosecraft. Slab was a pop up, I think, or was it? It was called. Was it called
I think-
Trudy's Underground before?
Yeah, Trudy's. Isn't that what it was called?
I don't want to mess up the history. I don't know if Trudy's was continuing its own thing or if Trudy's became Slab. But there was a Trudy's Underground, right? Like, or may still be. Like that experience. I don't think and just because those would be pop ups doesn't mean they weren't the best barbecue in LA at
For
the time.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
Moose was spitting out the best barbecue when it was a pop up. So like, there's nothing wrong picking that as the best in LeBurg's case in the city. But the only reason you might want to consider them differently, or the reason why it could be a lot of fun for an influencer to go spend a lot of time tracking them down, rating them, ranking them, sharing them, whatever, is because they just like add dynamism, and they're often essentially the startups that shape the future of the city's food scene in some way.
Yeah.
I love pop-ups.
Me too. I would do it. I think I could drop like a pretty good pop-up ranking right now. Like if I did like top 5 or top 10, like I probably have enough in the content bag to do it. The argument against is that pop-ups sometimes have an unfair advantage because like they don't have to be operating at the scale of a regular restaurant. So
Yeah.
it's one night only. You can kind of do whatever you want, Sometimes that makes it harder, but sometimes it also makes it easier. However, I agree with you. Pop-ups are like the breeding ground for like the future amazing concepts. So I'm all in. And yeah, pop-up ranking is a great idea. Maybe we'll do it. Okay, next question.
Bistro Blue been on the list for a long
Oh
time.
yeah,
Bruce now on the list. Like, yeah.
Bruce. Yeah, well, I still never been to like River Bar. What's it called? River Barbecue.
River Barbecue, that's
Yeah,
been on my list fucking forever.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot out
a
there.
lot.
There's a
We
lot.
should do a smorgasbord day soon. By the way.
Yeah. Eat at every single spot at Smorgasburg
Damn.
one
All
day.
right. I didn't go there. You did. Okay. Speaking of, next
I mean,
question
look.
is from Santa Monica hernia doctor. And they say, how do you stay so thin when all you do is eat?
Why are you pausing for me? I am not thin. He was not
Do you have an answer
asking
for
me.
this?
I both am not thin and also don't even eat as much as you.
Yeah, I mean the answer, dear Santa Monica hernia doctor, is that I think I have a borderline eating disorder in some way, shape, or form. Like
What fuck?
I mean, like I grew up as like a chubby kid, right? So ever since I was a chubby kid, I've kind of had it in the back of my mind, like thou shall never be fat again, and so I have this like fanatical need to just exercise my ass off. So I work out. I like run like 40 miles a week, play soccer 3 times a week. Basically, like the calorie deficit allows me to eat a lot.
Yeah, that is the. I would say I don't think that's called an eating disorder. I just think. Well, I was thinking the answer to be you run 40 miles a week and you play soccer and you are very high activity. I mean that like yeah.
The eating disorder part comes in the fact that I'm pretty sure I have body dysmorphia.
But yeah,
Like,
self-image
I always
issues.
look at myself.
Yeah.
I always look at myself and I'm like, you're a fat fuck. Every time I see myself, that's my first thought.
You should talk to someone, man. Talk to me. Let's talk it out on this podcast. We can figure this out.
Yeah, this is the right place to do it. No, but I just mean like that's great motivation. Like seeing, like never liking what you see in the mirror is great motivation to run 15 miles on a Saturday. Let's put it that way.
That's not the message we're saying. The message simply hate how you look. You'll never no.
No, but actually my weight does fluctuate a little bit from year to year. And usually if you see my weight tick up, it's because I'm battling some sort of an injury and I'm unable to run, because even if I'm not running, my eating does not stop. I'm committed to the cause. So
Yeah. Can I say something? Can I give you a take?
yeah.
I like you with a couple more pounds on you. It was your best look.
You like a little more cushion for the push in?
I do. It wasn't even that much. You just like gotta just like live with it. Live a little couple extra pounds. You look built. Those days when you were dealing with the hamstring injury or groin injury,
yeah,
the shoulders looked wide, body looked solid. Yeah, there was something to it.
You just let the whole world know what your type is. Get to know. Okay, on to the next one. Admiral 2110, why don't you give attention to Southeast LA? I think that's a really good question. This one was convicting.
No, yeah, it is, and there are spots we do want to try there. Far away is the only reason. Like we just need it's an intention thing. And by the way, this is more on you than me. I'm not
for
going
sure.
All over
Look, I'll say this. I think this isn't just a me problem. I think this is a food media in general problem, because I want to make one thing really clear. I am not a discoverer of places. I go to places that are reported on already, right? Like,
yeah.
If I'm going to a pizza spot, I'm going to like vet it. I'm not going to like be the first person to try it. I'm not like the guinea pig. Okay. So if there was a bunch of stuff popping off in one of these Southeast LA cities, chances are I would get there. However, I actually think that like food media in general doesn't do a good enough job of covering that part of Los Angeles. I think Bill Esparza obviously has done some stuff, and Eater does stuff from every once in a while as well. I think it's a big blind spot for the infatuation. Frankly, I'm not saying like it's their fault, but I'm just saying like I would go there if there was like more places that people pointed me to. Now, I think this is one gripe with food media in general, and this is something that Matt Kang said when we interviewed him for our end of year video series. He says it pisses him off how like for a lot of food media, they like rarely venture out from their like neck of the woods. Like basically they're like, the best thing is what's in my neighborhood. And it's like, nah, dude, probably not. Like chances are there's better stuff in other parts of Los Angeles. So I do think that's something that we constantly have to be checking ourselves on as food media, is like, where are we going? Why are we going there? Is it convenience, or, are we actually doing the work?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. This next question is from my wife. I think this is a good one for you, actually. She says, "What do you think about the fact that you have to tip on screens everywhere, not just at restaurants now?" She's asking, like, when do you tip and when do you not? Like for example, obviously, like if you're at a fast casual spot, you're asked to tip. If you're at a coffee shop, you're asked to tip. If you're at a shoppy shop, you're asked to tip. You know, when do you tip and when do you not?
So my rule isn't the rule I'll say should be everyone's. I always tip. I basically always tip. I like never say like I always tip probably I hit the middle or the left side button. So you're talking 15 minimum, 20 plus, certainly at a restaurant at all times. But with the tip screen, it'll get me tricky. Normally on tip screens, I've kind of shifted down towards your middle option more and more often at a coffee shop, at a shoppy shop. Do they have a shoppy shop? I guess
Dude,
they have
yeah.
them at shoppy shops.
For
Yeah.
at some shoppy shops, you're asked to tip at the end, and I'm like, I picked this out myself. I like, you know,
Right.
you didn't even ask me if you could help me.
Like LA Grocery and Cafe doesn't ask for tip, if I recall correctly. Like, but hey, maybe I don't need to go to more shoppy shops. Like, yeah, anytime a service has been done for you, which is to me typically being waited on or having something made for you, I'm thinking of
Yeah,
tipping or delivered for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
like anytime a delivery happens. But otherwise, I guess maybe I haven't been thinking about it or I've been missing it. But when I've not been, when I've just like picked stuff out and I'm checking out, I don't know if I can recall that scenario. I'm sure it's happens at times. Maybe I would like think twice or go on the lower end, closer to like a 10%. Of note, like so the federal minimum wage for tip workers is like $3 or less, maybe actually. But in LA, state laws can change that. I believe the minimum wage for tip workers is $17.80
Hmm.
or something like that. That makes me feel better more generally about the system here, but also makes me maybe I should be thinking that I am less beholden to paying someone else's rent given the minimum wage laws
Yeah,
here.
that makes sense. I have you now. We were at a winery this weekend where the server was telling us that he had just served a couple that was very unhappy with their wine, and they didn't tip because they were unhappy with their wine. Is there ever a situation in which I mean I heard that and I was like, where are they? Let's fucking throw down. But like, is there ever a situation where you're like, okay, based on the service rendered, I am not going to tip?
I can't recall having ever done that. Essentially, the only time that would have happened is if the service, for whatever reason, had not been
Yeah.
rendered. And not liking what you were served does not
Yeah.
count. It's like if I was abandoned at my table for the entire dinner and they came back be like and whatever. I don't know. I can't think of a scenario where this would happen for me, right? Like, yeah.
The most embarrassed I've ever been in my life. It takes a lot to embarrass me. Like literally, I get embarrassed. It's super difficult to embarrass me. But we were in Florida taking a road trip through Florida. My mother had actually just broken her knee, so she was wheelchair bound and horrible. You know, she's like a hardworking mom. She like has been looking forward to this vacation all year. She can't even go in the ocean because she's got this like knee brace on. We go out to so she's just like pissy to begin with, right? The entire time. We go out to a Perkins. Have you ever been to a Perkins?
Yes, we used that at Perkins in my town growing up.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
spot. Nice little
Yeah,
diner,
lovely.
good burgers.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with the burgers when I went when I was 13 years old. And it's pretty busy in there, and we have pretty bad service. Like this was clearly like a 16-year-old girl who like this was her like
Probably her first ever job, right?
probably her first ever job. But truly, I mean, seriously, like horrific service. Like the kind of service where like they say hi and then you don't see them for another 45 minutes, right? And my mom prides herself on having worked service jobs when she was in college. She is growing increasingly livid in her wheelchair with her leg brace on as this experience is going on. And as the check comes, she tells my dad, "Don't leave a tip. I'm going to have a conversation with her." Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So literally, my mom wheels herself over in her little wheelchair to have a conversation with this 16-year-old who does not give a fuck, is probably like high out of her mind. And meanwhile, me and my siblings are just in the corner like, "Oh my God, mom, you're so embarrassing." And my mom is like explaining in detail why she's not leaving a tip. So to this day, one of the worst experiences of my life.
Never. You can leave a tip and have the conversation if you have feedback, if you really really need to have it. But yeah, especially for a kid. My first job, working at a gas station. You know how many people's gas caps I left on their car? More than I can count. Like driving away, and I'm like, fuck. I fucked that one up again.
Well, speaking of my mom, she actually left a question. She said, how has your palate/taste evolved through time? Saul, have you noticed that your palate's gone better since you've been like, doing this podcast?
Oh, since I've been doing the podcast, maybe. It was more before then, right? I think my biggest evolution was between 2014 and 2020, 2020-ish, 2022. I probably, is continuing to grow, but that's just like kind of when I bloom, so to speak. And by the way, I don't like by palate. I'm not saying I have like some. I'm not saying I'm fucking good at tasting food. I don't know how I have a palate. I just mean my adventurousness and my experience and my breadth of eating kind of grew in that period a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think palate is like overrated. I think it's like really how much you can do a lot just by like being curious about food and learning. Because most people can taste things, right? But it's most people just, they don't know what they're tasting, or they're not curious about what they're tasting or how it got to the plate. So to me, that's the most important part. It's not like you have this supernatural palate. It's more so just like, do you give a shit about what you're eating?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's just built for both of us over the last several years.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to close. Actually, I'm saving a question for the end because it's my favorite question we've ever gotten. But Emily left a couple of really good ones. First, and this is a good one for you, actually, because I think this happened to you recently.
Yeah.
How do you emotionally recover after recommending a restaurant and it flops?
This is probably coming directly from my experience of having every single restaurant. I'm like on like a real. Actually, it's beyond this. I was gonna say every single restaurant I've like recommended to Emily's like brother and his wife and taken us out to just hasn't hit. Like we went to Ronin, lovely spot. They did a bad service thing where they just like forgot us for an hour and we were one of only 2 people there. So that wasn't like the food's fault. It was sort of the service's fault. We went to Connie and Ted's. It didn't hit this one time. But I also was planning, like when I've done trips with my parents, I've taken them to like, I was like, oh, we got like a nice Michelin, whatever, high-end spot here with a tasting menu. My mom's birthday in Mexico City. I was like, okay, taking her to the fine dining spots. And they just couldn't deal, right? They couldn't, 11 courses wasn't their thing. I didn't know my audience. So how do you emotionally recover? You dissociate and then push the feelings down and forget about it. And then eventually determine you're not taking responsibility for this until someone else fucks up a bunch of times. No, I mean, like you learn, you like try to learn the taste of your audience better if they're going to ask you again. But really, you just kind of like go into your hole and are like, they didn't get it. It's not on me.
I don't think you can ever emotionally recover from it personally.
Has this happened to you? When's the last time this happened to you where you were like, I took people out and it just didn't?
I mean, I can't even imagine that feeling. Like that would be mortifying doing it in person. I'm just talking about like when I recommend a pizza online and somebody hits me in the comments being like, I went and it was mid. That's mortifying.
Oh, sure. I would be less mortified about that because you don't know that person. Like they're like, like for me, it's much more embarrassing to take people that you know and love. And like, it's like sharing a TV show that you love. Like, hey guys, come watch this with me, and no one else likes it. It's that feeling.
I guess this happened most recently when Nancy from Compliments to the Chef was coming to town, and she was going to Lady Hawk by Charbel. And I didn't recommend it, but I vouched for it. I was like, oh, I fucking loved it, right? She went and she didn't love it. I don't know if that's like, if I should be doxing her on that, but I am. And I was just fucking devastated. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, she thinks I have no taste. She thinks oh my God, she thinks I'm a classless.
What I should think about more is people who've recommended spots to me and vouch for them, and I don't like them. That's more fun. Hopefully someone asks that next time. Yeah. Well,
I want to do one more from Emily. Which one do you want to do?
I want to ask you, if you had to get TikTok famous and you couldn't rely on food content, how would you get famous? What would be your plan?
I would probably, okay, so the first thing that comes to mind is lean into some soccer content.
Boring.
Like there's so many people who have gotten famous off of like, judging kits or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I actually think recently I've had more inspiration, and that is I would try everything I can to get on Survivor.
Oh, we literally recommended this to you.
Yeah.
Our buddy Sammy and I, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I've been seriously considering applying recently.
Fuck, we need take this offline. We need to talk. We like Emily and I have discussed this at length. We know your angle. We know how we would pitch you. Everything's there. Very exciting. Thrilled to hear this.
This will be great for the pod. It might be bad for my marriage, but I'm willing to.
Don't say it's great for the pod. I don't think they cut this out. We're gonna get you
never
on.
Mind. It's bad for the pod. It's bad for the pod. Nobody cares about Survivor.
I don't know. They probably don't care actually. But yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, well, speaking of marriages, last question, and this one is from somebody called Sippin' Mead on Instagram. Luca, but this can apply to both of us. What's your advice for helping find a wife?
Love this question. Love this question, especially since you technically found yours in middle school. Not very helpful.
High school. Thank you very much.
High school.
Yeah, I mean, so to that point though, I was going to give this advice. There's like some stat out there that's like most people have already met the person they're going to marry before the age of like 25 or something. So like,
I thought it was 30. I thought it was like 29 or 30.
Okay. It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like that, right? So if you are now past that age, stop looking forward. Look back, try to think back on everybody you've ever met and think to yourself, who did I vibe with? Not necessarily who was I most attracted to, but who did I vibe with, okay? Because that's your first filter. It doesn't matter if you're attracted to them at first, right? Think about who you're going to vibe with.
Wow, that's a take, I feel like.
Yeah, but then you go back and look and be like, did that person have a glow up? Because yes, you're right. You're right. I met my wife in high school, but like, we didn't start dating till we were like 26 or 27. So
in this case, you grew up for her, I think, quite significantly.
I grew up. Yeah. She thought she literally thought I was just, I was a gay guy when she met me. That's what she thought of me.
Yeah. European. Yeah. Sadly. Yeah. Often mistaken, I guess.
Often mistaken.
I don't know if that's true. I remember seeing pictures. I've seen pictures of you from the time, and I was like, "This fucking guy, you look like a douchebag."
Yeah, I mean, my style icon was Zac Efron. What do you expect? Do you have any advice to add on to that?
Well, no, I think that's about right. I guess if you're 23, start meeting more people. Get off the dating apps. I said this before. I think in our last Q&A we had a similar question. I don't believe in dating apps. I met my wife on a dating app, but ignore that. I don't believe in them as a concept.
Fair.
I think they've gotten worse. Also, I don't know. Go out, do stuff in public, like pursue hobbies, and then find things you like to do with other people. You literally met your wife through shared hobby. If you find like basically acting school or acting summer camp, right? Like go do stuff in person. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, good advice. Hey, let us know. Let us not go Sippin' Mead. And by the way, we will accept an invite to your marriage if it's if you find somebody because of us.
I might be busy. I don't know. I can't promise I'll be there.
All right. Hey, let's zoom through Chef's Kiss Big Miss real quick, okay? Friend of the pod, Jen Harris, reports on Golden Leaf, the San Gabriel restaurant that had to pull its signature stinky tofu after one very persistent neighbor said the smell crossed the line, despite it being a beloved Taiwanese staple in up to 20% of the restaurant's business. Now it's turned into a full-on LA food culture debate. Is this about odor control, or whose foods and cultures are allowed to take up space in the city? The kicker is, to bring it back, it would cost the restaurant up to $100,000 in filtration with zero guarantee. So for now, it's off the menu. Saul, NIMBY neighbors complaining about smelly food. Chef's Kiss or Big Miss?
I'm on the fence on this one, and here's why. No. Like, it's very clear. Like stinky tofu should be allowed to be made. Like that's like. And by the way, a couple of things that make me doubt this neighbor or who's complaining about the odor. One is that no other neighboring constituents in like the shopping mall or whatever seem to be bothered. That's one. And two, they'd initially started making they made the stinky tofu for the first 3 years of the restaurant's existence back between 2014 and 2017. The neighbor complained. They took it off the menu for 8 years. It came back in 2025, and then it said the neighbor complained when she found out. When they found out again. But I'm like, okay, did you complain because you found out and you're trying to be like culturally shut down this thing, or are you complaining because it bothered you? Because the flip side, and I don't like, people are allowed to like laws around odor or sound, right? This is imagine this is like a loud like whatever, like a concert venue that disrupts other people's living, like they have a right to that, right? And they do note that there are other restaurants that serve stinky tofu that do have the filtration systems and they do not get complaints, and they're also not as close to residential stuff. So overall, big miss as a concept, right? Not ideal, but but I feel, I mean, like yeah, I feel like the lady has a right to not have like a. They literally describe the smell of stinky tofu, which is a delicacy and like a local street food favorite, and also they said it's like gym socks soaked in pickle juice, right? Which I can understand. Actually, this can sound weird. I can understand the appeal of the smell.
Me too.
And like what? Yeah, right. I can also understand if you're at home and it's not 11 o'clock or whatever, or 10 o'clock, you don't want to smell it, right? So it goes both ways. I don't understand how no one else is complaining and it's only one lady. That makes me suspicious of the situation. I will say, like, but I don't. Yeah, we don't know.
The greasy wheel. The greasy wheel the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Why don't we just start a fundraiser for these people to like get the filtration system?
That's the big thing, right? Like, can you support them getting the air filtration system? Yeah, because then that would solve the problem theoretically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're giving it a big miss, and NIMBY neighbors, we don't like you. Okay, next one. I regret to inform you that Horses is back in the news, Saul. As you recall, what was once one of LA's hottest restaurants imploded after Liz Johnson accused co-owner and husband Will Agajanian of killing their pets. And now, 3 years later, he's finally telling his side. In an airmail interview, Agajanian basically says, yeah, I'm cancelable, quote unquote, but I'm not a cat killer, framing the whole thing as a personal and public unraveling that spiraled way beyond the original accusations. Saul, my question for you is this. Is the headline, I'm cancelable, but I'm not a cat killer, a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I think it's a chef's kiss. I think it's like, that's like accountability, but holding a boundary. It's like, I mean, again, I can't remember what public opinion pile-ons, right? Like public shaming pile-ons, like a whole thing. We often don't know the truth, but like the real truth behind them. As a headline, succinct gets your point across. I still don't know whether he did or did mess with any cats. Yeah, but if he's just doing PR. Not bad.
I mean, I think the charges were like cat abuse, cat asphyxiation, like of a sexual nature, even like. So yeah, you didn't kill him, but you fucked him up. That's for sure.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, no, I don't know the accusations. Not commenting on them as a headline. I mean, probably a decent one for him.
Yeah. All right.
Accountability, boundary. Accountability, boundary. It's probably how I would deal with it.
Fair. Good to know for whatever happens. Look, I'm sorry, but we have to talk about Noma one more time because Stephanie Brazier of the LA Times reports that Noma's $1,500 a head pop-up is still chugging along despite the protests, lost sponsors, and Renee Redzepi stepping away. The latest update is that organizers are now negotiating a possible sit-down with activists. But where it's getting messy is that one of the viral abuse stories, and if you recall, it's the one about a woman burning her face and being laughed out of the kitchen. It's one of the stories that helped fuel the backlash, is now being disputed by the alleged victim herself and other former staff, turning the whole saga into a he said, she said, layered on top of what is already a boiling industry reckoning. Saul, does this feel like a notable chef's kiss that means that there could be something to the detractors' argument that Jason Ignacio White is a fraud, or a big miss that's like, let's just move on already?
I don't know if it's either one of those. I think it's notable. I think it's notable that this victim is like, my story was not told accurately. I think that's like real red flag territory for the record. Also, the overall severity of the accusations, particularly against Redzepi, but also the culture at large, and the amount of, and like the, not just the amount, but the severity of the actions in terms of physical abuse and mental and emotional, like overall doesn't matter, doesn't change the narrative. I'm like, I will say, no, you know what? I am a little bit over it. Not in like fully a sense, but like, I'm like, Renee's gone. I'm not over in the sense that nothing more should happen. I just want to get to the next steps in the addressing here, which will take some time, right? And it may take this negotiation. And I think as Ignacio White has said, they're going to try and continue the sort of reckoning here, bring it to James Beard and World's 50 Best, and I'm here for that. I want to understand like what all is going to follow along there. But like in terms of the conversation about Noma in LA, like I think we've like kind of covered it. I just want to see now how those solutions are going to come to pass, and how frankly the activists are going to respond to this sort of outreach from the restaurant. I'm curious about that.
Hey, there'll come a point where Jason is either too big a distraction for the movement and he'll have to step away, or they'll keep going and maybe it'll lose some of its bite. But yeah, man, I kind of agree with you. I feel like right now we're at a stage where the media, this was definitely worth reporting on, so I'm not like taking issue with Stephanie Brazier, but I do think in general everyone's just looking for like an angle to give their 2 cents on this story, and we've done the same on this podcast, so I can't really shade it, but it's getting a little bit tiresome.
Well, but like the guy left the pop-up. I know it's deeper than that. But it's now like I'm curious how it comes, and they're keeping the pressure on, right? And they're continuing to do all that, and the pop-ups continue to be sold out, and it's gonna stick around. So it's kind of like, okay, we're going. What's the next step here? What's gonna happen?
You're going?
I mean, like, we're both going forward. Like, the pop-up's continuing to go on.
I'm joking.
And they're,
All right, second to last one. The LA Dodgers are entering 2026 opening day like defending champions, but is the food menu matching the energy? Fans heading to the stadium for the first games of the season this week will see some new items on the concessions menus, including cochinita pibil bone marrow tacos, char siu pork loaded fries with furikake and sriracha mayo, a Loco Moco bowl with gravy and a sunny egg, and a watermelon habanero margarita bringing sweet heat with a tagine rim. Saul, simple question for you. Do the new menu items at Dodger Stadium sound like a welcome chef's kiss or a try-hard big miss?
I mean, if they can do this right, which I am skeptical of, but I'm looking at the pictures, and the pictures look good, but of course they do. Of these, I think Loco Moco and Margarita are most likely to hit.
Yeah.
I'll be curious how they're able to pull off cochinita pibil at stadium level scale, as well as a char siu fries or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, this is just, none of this shit is what I want to eat at a baseball game.
Well, a rice bowl is weird. I would eat a Loco Moco. I would. Maybe I wouldn't. Actually, you might be right. I'm trying to picture it. When I go, I'm gonna get chicken tenders.
Yeah,
or hot dog.
I'm gonna
that's
get
what I'm about.
the garlic fries. That's what you get at the Dodger Stadium, and you get a Dodger dog, of course. But I'm never gonna choose the char siu pork loaded fries over the garlic fries.
Yeah, no, that's 100% right. That's right.
Now, what is interesting is that La Sorted's is doing something where for every opponent that comes to play the Dodgers, they're creating a unique hot dog for that city. So Arizona gets its own hot dog. Cleveland gets its own hot dog. It's actually an insane amount of work that they're doing. And for each one, they're reaching out to purveyors in that city to send them stuff. So for Cleveland,
that is fucking incredibly cool.
Isn't that cool?
So cool.
Yeah.
It's
really cool. They're doing a Sonoran
That's not
hot dog.
Is that in stadium or that's just at La Sorted's?
That's just at La Sorted's. That's just at La Sorted's.
Yeah.
Isn't that a really cool activation?
I love it. I love that.
Okay, so chef's kiss to La Sorted's. All right, last one for you. This one's super easy. LA's Food World is pulling up deep for Night Out for No Kid Hungry, a one-night-only tasting event coming to Rolling Greens in DTLA this April 11th with 50-plus chefs like friend of the pod Brooke Williamson, Maylin, and Melissa King serving bites and cocktails for a cause. It's not just food because Anthony Anderson and Andra Day are in the mix too. So this is basically part elite food fest, part Hollywood energy, and all aimed at fighting childhood hunger. Saul, amazing dinner for a cause, an obvious chef's kiss, or are you heartless enough to give this a big miss?
Sounds like a very cool event. Chef's kiss.
Nice. And by the way, if you're going to show up smart with tickets at nokidhungry.com/nightout and use code Luca20 for 20% off. Can you believe that?
Wow, you're a code, bro. Look at you.
I'm a code. I've made it. That's code Luca20. We'll put the link in the show notes. They didn't pay us for that. We're just nice people and think it's a good cause. So yeah, go do that. Hey, maybe I'll see you there. Saul, would you want to go to this?
Yeah, sure. I'll use your code.
Okay.
I'll get there.
Nice. I was going to say I can get you in for free, but I feel like getting you in for free to a charity event is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I don't want to. I wouldn't want to go for free.
Yeah.
I might even pay full price. I don't even need to use your code or anything.
Oh, is it fucked up that I'm giving a code for charity? Like I'm taking money away from the cause?
Well, why did they give you a code if it wasn't for? How did you get this code?
It's a fake code. It's a fake.
What do you mean? Presumably,
No,
I think they want people to come to the event.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah. They gave me. To be clear, this is a real code, people. Go try it. That's probably enough for today. Do you have a shitty Yelp review for me?
I was gonna call out your LA taco thing, but we sorted that out already. So yeah, no, I don't. By the way, I'm gonna start a new thing where I try to start reviewing you instead of just myself.
Good.
Possibly.
It's good.
Or just like concepts. We like kind of like you to LA taco. I think we should expand the purview. Of
Yeah, I mean, I gave you a shitty Yelp review 2 episodes ago. So
you did.
Oh, you'll have to go back and listen. So
did I? Oh, I was not on the episode.
No, it was me and Karen episode, and you got a shitty Yelp review. So,
oh my god! This is how you can also test if I'm listening, which I'm.
It is. I knew you weren't.
Not always. I listened to the Noma episode. I did. Not the whole thing, but the Noma
because it was on the shit. It was on the Noma episode.
Yeah, I know.
All right. That'll do for your shitty Yelp reviews that you don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay. Saul, good job by you, buddy. We'll be back right after the break with Chef Daniele Uditi live from Pizza Expo.
Ooh, very cool.
Welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast for the second time. It's none other than my good friend, Chef Daniele Uditi of Pizzana and Lele Dinner Club. Chef, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. We're in Vegas, baby. Yeah!
You just alluded to it, but for people who can't see this, because this is an audio medium, where are we today?
We are at Aria Hotel in Las Vegas for the Pizza Expo 2026.
Yeah, you come every year, right?
Yeah, I come every year. I gotta make my presence. Come on.
Yeah, what's the value of Pizza Expo?
I think it's the most exciting thing about it, because you can see what other people are doing in the moment, right? So there is so many different style of pizzas, new equipments, new techniques. So you can learn and you can update yourself. That's to use a up-to-date terminology. Yes.
Did you see anything particularly exciting this year so far?
Well, yesterday, the only thing I saw was chaos. The first day is always the chaos. I'm very looking forward for today. I'm saying hi to a couple of friends that come from Naples as well. It's nice, because you don't get to see all your colleagues that often. You just follow each other on social media, but when you meet in person, it's like in magic. You talk, you exchange opinion and stuff. So I'm looking forward for that. The human relation is the most important thing, because now we are all used to this freaking machine on our ends, and I'm a talker. I'm a people guy, so I like that.
What's the Los Angeles representation at Pizza Expo? Quite a few LA chefs?
There is a lot of them. Yesterday I was talking with Chris from Truly Pizza. There is another Chris from Bettina, Sadistic Shark. Is such a nice guy. There's me, Pizzana.
Yeah.
And there is a scattered bunch all over the place. But every year, the California pizza scene grows. Oh, Justin De Leon from Apollonia, which
of course.
we're gonna make another collaboration. Me and Justin at Pizzana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna do like Detroit styles, New York style, whatever he does. With our Neapolitan style collide in such an amazing flavor. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But every year, Californian pizza scene rises,
Yeah.
and
Because there's pizza makers from all over the world here, and when you're going on the floor of Pizza Expo, if you're a pizza nerd, it's kind of like amazing because there's people like you.
Yeah.
You see Tony Gimignani. You see.
Tony, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tony, I forgot about you.
You see Anthony Mangieri. You see all these kinds of legendary pizzaioli here in America.
Dan Richer from Razza.
Dan Richer, of course. Now, when it comes to, obviously, last time you were on, we talked about the pizza renaissance that happened in LA.
Yes.
And you have been, heralded as the founder of this pizza renaissance in LA.
I don't like to say that, but talking about almost 10 years ago, and I felt that the only pizza that was doing an amazing job was in Los Angeles was the pizza of Nancy Silverton, Mozza. Even though it was criticized by a lot of Italians. It's not pizza, it's bread, what is this, what is that? But if you think about it, the high puffy crust that she was doing might have been the precursor of the contemporanea pizza that my friend Vincenzo Capuano is doing, and today I'm wearing his hat, contemporanea. Well, I love all the pizza, I like to point fingers, so mine is better than yours and stuff. To me, everybody deserves to tell their story, and it doesn't matter what kind of style it is. At the end of the day, if your goal is to make people happy, just go for it. Just do it.
So I completely agree. I think that it's actually too competitive sometimes with pizza. Literally here at Pizza Expo, they have pizza competitions.
Yeah, that's something that I will never do.
Yeah, I frankly, that's the thing I care the least about here. I think that it's cool if people want to do it, right?
Yeah.
But for the fact that there is a national pizza scene here, how is Los Angeles regarded by other people, like people from around the world here? Is there respect for Los Angeles?
It wasn't. 10 years ago, there wasn't. The only thing that people would say to me, you can never make good pizza in Los Angeles. There's no water. The water sucks. The weather sucks for pizza. It's dry. Temperature fluctuate top and bottom. And here I am. I opened up Pizzana 9 years ago, and now Pizzana has 9 locations. So I guess it was... how you call it? Los Angeles was the right place to make pizza.
Yeah.
And then after me, I saw pizza places rising like mushrooms, which I love because people became aware that it's actually possible to make pizza anywhere in the world if you know and if you're passionate about it to learn the way of making it, The big example in Los Angeles right now, Chris Bianco from Phoenix, he came all the way in Los Angeles, opened up an amazing pizza shop, plus being one of the best human beings I ever met in my life. So Nancy Silverton was doing an amazing job with La Brea Bakery at the time. So she was making bread. So if you make bread in California, and Tartino is a big example, best bread in the world, Tartino. Why you cannot make pizza? You can make pizza as well, They think that pizza and bread are two branches separated, but they come from the same methodology, I don't know if there even is that word.
Yeah, methodology. It's to say.
Look at me speaking English. I love it.
Professor Daniele.
I professor. No, but at the end of the day, yes, that's what it is. And there is, if you do that again, I give you $200. We're in Vegas, right?
Yeah. By the way, dear listener, he has an incredible gambling method, which is it's not even gambling.
It's soccer-based.
Yeah, it's soccer-based. He plays formations on the roulette table, and he's up like $700 right now.
It's okay. Well, don't spoil my luck. What the hell? Now I'm going to go and play $10 at a time and lose all my money. I don't gamble. I like roulette because it's all based on odds and luck, and I have a rule. I play $100. If I lose the $100, I'm done.
The listeners know I'm the one with the gambling addiction here.
Yeah, no. I like the game because it reminds me when I was a kid playing Natale, Christmas with my family, tombola, and you bet little beans or cents.
Yeah.
And I do the same. I do $10, $1 at a time. I build my luck built brick by brick. And when that $100 I play is gone, it's gone. I lost. Sorry.
Yeah,
So,
I wish I had the same discipline.
gambling
as you.
is not good for people. Don't gamble.
Unless, of course, a betting app out there wants to sponsor this podcast, then we're okay with that. Daniele, you talk about building something brick by brick. Since
Yeah.
we spoke to you last, you opened and stopped running Lele Dinner Club.
Yes.
We talked about that on this podcast, but for people who aren't familiar with it, what was Lele?
Well, Lele was my way to express Neapolitan cuisine and presenting it in a very crude and rough way.
Yeah.
To me, opening up a restaurant and making a vibe, decor, stuff, it's important, of course. But to me, the soul of a restaurant is not just through a pretty chair or a nice table. To me, is through the story that you tell. So I felt the need that in Los Angeles there wasn't that kind of story being told, right? So there's a bunch of Italian restaurants, and since my good friends Evan Funky open up Felix, I feel like everybody made copy and paste of the same menu.
Yeah.
I see cacio e pepe everywhere. I see amatriciana everywhere, carbonara everywhere. So my cholesterol should be to the roof if I eat like that every day. But Italian food actually is different in every region that you go, right? And Naples is not different than any other region. Of course, we have pizza, spaghetti, the most famous stuff, but we also have a bunch of dishes that people didn't even know about it, like pasta e fagioli. People here call it pasta fazool, because it's an Italian-American version. But for me, in that dish, made in the true Neapolitan way, there's so much poetry, because there's the time. There is this huge pot that people could see me stirring for 20 minutes. It's like, oh my God, you cook pasta for 20 minutes. It's pasta mista.
Yeah.
Different shape of pasta gets cooked at different time, and very slow and low. And I made courses starting with the focaccias, which was my first job at my family business. My aunt used to sell bread, focaccia, little pizzette, and we used to go deliver in the tre ruote, how you call it, the apecar, how you call it, the three wheels.
Those like little 3-wheel things with the open thing in the back.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called in English.
Apecar in Italian.
Yeah.
Tre ruote in
Tre
Neapolitan.
ruote, that means 3 wheels.
Yes, in Neapolitan.
Yeah.
And I was
Look at us bilingual.
right? Trilingual. Italian, English, Neapolitan. And imagine, I was excited because I get to make the bread, but I also get to go deliver and scream when people wanted to buy some stuff. So it was fun, and I thought it was a good idea to open up the dinner with that. So
Very personal.
Yeah. So I felt that Lele Dinner Club had a space and time that was born at the beginning of the year and it was done by Christmas. So, and that was good. It was a good run. People loved it. It was 15,000 people on the waiting list. I'm sorry for people that didn't get to experience Lele Dinner Club. Maybe in the future I'll bring it back under another form, maybe another concept or another small little shop that I want to do by myself. So who knows?
The reception to it was incredible. I mean, as you said, 15,000 people on the waiting list. You got a glowing review in the LA Times, which doesn't always happen for pop-ups. I mean, what was that like? Did you feel pressure because of that? Because of all the people who wanted to come experience this?
I mean, 100% because after that review, the expectation is set very high. But a good thing about me, I tend to detach myself from what happened media-wise.
Yeah.
I am more focused on what I'm doing than on what people are saying. So to me, doing a good job and making people happy is the priority, right? And all the dishes I was making, dishes I used to cook with my mom. So to me, it was very close to my heart. Since I lost her when I was 23, I just wanted to make her proud in the first place, and then to see if her cuisine was appreciated even overseas over here.
Yeah.
So my goal was that. People felt that, and like I told you, opening up a restaurant cost millions of dollars. Lele Dinner Club was in a warehouse on West Adams. We bought tables from living spaces, chairs mismatch, plates mismatch, just like in a house, in a grandma house. We had 2 Gosney oven where I cooked everything in there, 6 burners, and still I managed to feed 54 people at the time, by telling the story. The most amazing things for me was making them break the long pasta. It's something that you
That
don't
was
usually
super
do.
fun.
It's an interaction, but in
Yeah.
Naples, we are like that. At the end of the day, we are loud,
Yeah.
we're proud, and we like to eat good food. So
Yeah, that was my favorite part about it, was that the interaction of it, not just the breaking the pasta for the pasta fagioli or the pasta zucchini, depending on which seating you went to, but also the fact that at every meal you were seated with some strangers.
Yeah,
Who were
yeah.
strangers. And then you find that more often than not they are like-minded people
Yeah.
that you can actually have a good conversation
100%.
with. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of the entire experience. Now, a lot of people expected that to be sort of the precursor to a restaurant.
Yeah, I tried it out and to see if it was going to work. I cannot lie, in the future there is a project that I want to do. Right now we're focused on expanding Pizzana though. I'm sharp focused on making Pizzana maintain the quality, because while expanding and expanding.
Yeah.
It's very hard to keep everything under control. But I have good team behind me. I have amazing partners. Candice and Charles Nelson doing an amazing job, especially Candice, with all entrepreneurial expertise. And Charles, her husband, is just maverick and a genius behind the scene. And me on the culinary side to keep up with the menu, to make sure that everything is there. Like the first day, that the ingredients stay there. To me, ingredients are one of the most important things. We use a lot of Californian product, but there is also key ingredients that we import from Naples that are made from friends of mine that are actually here at the Pizza Expo
Yeah.
today. Luigi Rega, his family, has been serving tomato to my family since forever.
Wow.
And I use those tomatoes here in the U.S.
They have a plot of land with
Yeah.
tomatoes just for pizzana,
He
right?
let me choose the plot of
Yeah.
land, like here. You want it here? I don't even know if it makes a difference. But just for me to choose a plot of land, there's like, this is mine. Those tomatoes are mine. I love it.
Yeah.
So anytime I go to Italy during the summer and I go toward the plot of, like, I feel like a proud father with all those red babies tomatoes that are growing. So yeah.
Pretty dope. I mean, not a lot of pizzerias can say that, especially ones that are expanding at the rate that Pizzana is expanding. How many locations are you at now?
We have 8 locations and soon to be 9 in Houston, the 9th one. And then, there's a plan for more, so a lot of work.
He just rolled up his sleeves for people,
Yes.
people listening to this. Well, hey, we love talking about pizza. As you know, I'm eating 100 pizzas in 365 days,
There you go.
which is nothing for.
And still managed to look sharp. Look at you.
I mean, you know how I do.
This is a pizza body, not that one.
I mean, I'll get there, don't you worry. But I wanted to do something kind of fun today, which is we have the Pizza Master on the podcast, so I wanted to spend some time debunking some pizza myths.
All right, let's see if I can do that.
Are you down?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, first one of the key buzzwords in pizza right now is fermentation.
All right.
Everybody's talking about fermentation. They're talking about their 24-hour, their 48-hour. Does fermentation does a longer fermentation make for a better pizza?
I seen things being pushed too hard. Yes, it's important for fermentation to be there, but the main reason for fermentation is to achieve flavor more than digestive benefits. See, there is a part that has to be with the digestive benefits, right? The sugar starch that gets break down in complex to simple. There's scientific part that makes sense, but also if you go to a place and they tell you, 72 hour, 84 hour, 5 days. Well, don't you have to sell the pizza? It's like, when do you sell them if you make them ferment all these times? Like, don't you have customer that you have to sell the freaking pizza? So Pizzana, we do 48 hours only because I have to achieve the flavor, that I wanted. And yes, it makes it easier to digest, but if you go to a pizza place and you order margarita and then you put all the Noah arcs of ingredients on the freaking
sausage,
pizza,
the pepperoni.
then you go home, that pizza made me drink all night. My God, it was so heavy. Yeah, I bet it was heavy. It was a pound of pepperoni, a pound of sausage, a pound of mushrooms. Like, what the heck?
The whole ass charcuterie
I'm
board.
sure it's like it's not digestible. Your body's not made to digest all the salt.
Yeah.
So that's what basically makes the pizza non-digestible. But even a slow fermentation pizza, you can digest it if it's a simple one. Yeah.
So on that note, the next thing I wanted to debunk, or maybe not debunk, you can tell me. Sometimes these things are not myths; they're actually truths. But as I'm eating 100 pizzas, one of the things that I see most often in my comments is, "Go get your cholesterol checked. You know, your heart's screaming right now. You know, your body hates you." Is pizza that unhealthy?
No, it's actually part of the Mediterranean diet. If pizza is a margherita pizza or marinara pizza, meaning the dough, sauce, cheese, extra virgin olive oil, and basil, is one of the most perfectly balanced meal that you can have in a diet. As a protein, as antioxidant from the tomato, lycopenes, I don't know how you call it. It's very, they help to fight cancer.
Right.
There is carbs and fibers when it's done with good flour from the crust, and there is more antioxidant and benefits from the olive oil. So it's but just the pizza.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you, I order a pepperoni and then I order a prosciutto and I order this. Yes, you should get your cholesterol checked. Or like I want triple cheese, double cheese, stuffed crust cheddar.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Well, it's also all
No.
I think it's also all the shit people order around pizza.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, pizza for me is a cheat meal, so I'm gonna have beer. I'm gonna have mozzarella sticks. I'm gonna have, even in Italy we have."
But then the fault is of the pizza. The fault is of the pizza that I couldn't digest.
Yeah.
Not of the mozzarella sticks that you ordered before, not the garlic knot that you ordered before with a pound of butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in Italy, we have a fritto, we have a frittura, arancini, croquet, even
Baccalà.
French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, even a little French fries with mayonnaise. That's one of my favorite snacks.
It's the best. It's
So
the fucking
good.
best.
Sorry for people that like ketchup with French fries. Sorry.
No, we're very much a mayonnaise and French fries podcast here, unless Father Sal says otherwise. Okay, this next one is really interesting because you've probably heard of a little guy called Dave Portnoy.
Not so little.
Not so little, but one of the most pervasive myths that I think he's spread with his pizza reviews is that in order for pizza to be good, it has to have no flop.
Okay.
Do you abide by that?
We need to categorize this. So Dave Portnoy does reviews on his favorite pizza, not the pizza that should be the favorite of everybody, right? There is so many different style of pizza, to me, and what I've learned that he likes pizza that are extra charred,
Yeah.
like extra charred. There's no flop, as sometimes at the edge of being super burned.
Right.
And some of the pizza that he likes made me question, sometimes the thought process that he has on judging the pizza. But if this is your way of judging a pizza, I don't think you should encourage people to eat burnt pizza, because burnt pizza is cancer. It's bad for you. Burnt flour is very bad for you. So if you see a pizza that is super black on the bottom, people don't eat it because it's bad for your health. Anything that is burned is bad for your health. So if 90% of your pizza is burned, it's black underneath, like, oh, look at that char, the flavor and stuff is bitter and umami. So no, that is a bad pizza that should be tossed.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between crispy and crunchy and achieve the crackerly texture and crust in something that is overcooked, like burned and dry and very bad for your health. So I want this message to be clear for people, because I cook for people and I want them to be healthy.
Wait, so quick, secondary myth then?
Yeah.
Because does that mean that leopard spotting on pizza isn't always good?
It's different. Leopard spotting on the pizza is micro bubbles of sugar that caramelize, right? And with a high temperature, they cook too fast. So sometimes the leopard spot can be caused by cold dough, and people exchange that for high quality, but it's actually not like that. In most of Neapolitan pizza, if you see it, there is very little of leopard spotting.
Yeah.
In Neapolitan pizza, since it's cooked so high, the less ingredient you put on top, the better.
Right.
Because if you start putting so many ingredients on that pizza, that's gonna be soupy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the texture that, oh my God, it's a flop, it's a thing. In Neapolitan pizza, if you fold it like a taco, it gives you a sensation of eating a taco, basically,
Yes,
with the juicy ingredient on top. So that's the right way of thinking about Neapolitan pizza. Then for the New York style, one of my friend, Massimo Laveglia from l'Industry.
Yeah.
It has one of the best freaking pizza in the world for me. And look at the crust. It's never burned.
Yeah.
It's never burned. It's cooked perfectly. Toasted. You can taste the caramelization. It's almost like a, how can I explain? It's like when the flour is toasted to the right perfection, it almost tastes like caramel to me.
It's almost like creme brulee.
Yes, creme brulee.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's why you have a podcast. But that is the perfect example of a perfectly cooked, crispy, no flop pizza.
Yeah.
But
Are they here today?
I don't know. I should text them though.
I remember we had their pizza last year. That was fun.
It was good.
Yeah.
But going back to Dave Portnoy, he likes what he likes. It doesn't mean that his word is the truth about every pizza in the United States.
Yeah.
He makes his pizza known, like his flavor known, and people should take it as it is. His flavor, his favorite pizza, not the favorite pizza of everybody.
The best pizza. Okay, so you talk about Neapolitan pizza. My myth question for you on Neapolitan pizza is this. Is Neapolitan pizza always soupy in the middle?
If you put a bunch of ingredients, if you put too much cheese, yes, it's going to be soupy. Too much sauce is going to be soupy. Think about it. It's a pizza dough that is cooked in 450 Celsius degrees, like almost 900 degrees.
Yeah.
900 degrees Fahrenheit. And the less ingredient you put on top is better.
Yeah.
So, especially if you like pizza with mozzarella di bufala discharge so much liquid on a pizza that's why Neapolitan pizza was born with fior di latte, or was made with day-old mozzarella, which is already drained of the juices, the liquids.
I don't know, man. What you said earlier about the experience of folding the pizza and eating it a little bit like a taco or a street food, that resonates so much, because I hear so many times, even from people who consider themselves pizza experts, when they go to Naples, they just feel like, it was okay, it was fine.
Because they like New York style. Because if you grew up with, for example, for us, New York style pizza, for Neapolitan, New York style pizza, we call it a cookie.
Yeah.
It's a biscotto.
Biscotto.
Biscotto, because it's cooked too much. But because we grew with the perfection of the pizza being Neapolitan.
Right.
But if you're a New Yorker and you grew up with a pizza and share with your family and watching a football game, and that pizza is memory attached, right? And those flavors are not just good because they're great.
Yeah.
They're good, great, and they become amazing because there's a memory attached to their flavors.
Right.
So that's why when they go to Naples, it's like, it doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah, I know. It just pisses me off because I feel like people limit themselves because they go in expecting one thing and then are disappointed when they're not open to the possibility of something else.
But people like what they like, so I don't criticize them.
Yeah.
So
I'll criticize them. You don't have to.
Like pineapple on a pizza.
Fuck those people.
No, come on.
All right, next myth. Pizza sauce should always be uncooked.
That's another myth. That's another myth, because think about it. To become pizza sauce, the tomatoes go to a steaming process. They're actually semi-cooked, the tomato.
The ones that are in the cans.
Yes.
Yeah, to get the skins off.
Yes.
Right.
So, and they're already partially cooked. Then the second cooking process happens when you spread on a pizza.
Yeah.
But Neapolitan pizzas focus on the freshness of the ingredients, right? So, is that really wrong to eat fresh tomato sauce on a pizza? If your goal is to have the freshest ingredient on a pizza?
I mean, I don't
I answer a question with a question, sorry, but
Yeah, but for me, I'm gonna answer the question because I don't actually consider fresh to mean cooked. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have cooked.
just fresh tomato and crush it and put it on a pizza. I mean, you can put cherry tomatoes and you dress it with olive oil, garlic, and you spread on a pizza, and that's cherry fresh tomatoes on a pizza.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it all goes back on what people like. If you're used to it, to have your pizza sauce being cooked with garlic, oregano, sugar, and who knows how many ingredients goes into that.
Yeah.
Everybody has the secret ingredient sauce, right? It's like the chilies.
Right.
We're gonna make the worst bad chilies that you don't even know what's in it. It's like because that's a secret. Same thing with American sauces. Like, oh, that's a family secret. But you don't know. Sometimes there can be ketchup in it. Sometimes there can be sugar,
Anchovies.
vinegar, anchovies.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you like. I prefer to use crushed tomato, like San Marzano tomato, DOP.
Yeah.
Open from the can. You crush them, a little seasoning of salt, and that's it.
That's what I
little
like
basil
too.
maybe, but that's what I grew up eating with.
Yeah.
But if some people consider that to be a raw sauce, think about it. It got steamed before to be.
Yeah, I don't know if that's people consider it a raw sauce. They just consider it like, I don't know, maybe their brain is expecting something more sugary or something because it's what they grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. This is an interesting one because it's one of the criticisms I get the most often when I'm posting my pizza videos.
Okay.
It's not of me. I get a lot of criticisms, but this one isn't of me. This one is of the pizzerias, and it's that the pizza is too expensive. So, like, for example, in Los Angeles right now, you know this, but for listeners at home, I think a slice at an affordable shop is running for about $5.
$6, something, $6.50.
Yeah, that's normal. I'd say in some parts of town you can get it for $5. Other parts of town, $7, $8.
Yeah.
Whole pizzas are going for $20 to $30 at certain places. The myth I would like to ask you about is this one: pizza should be cheap.
Yeah, pizza should be cheap, but also rent should be cheap. Also, gas should be cheap.
Yeah.
Also, electricity should be cheap. Also, labor costs should be cheap.
Yeah.
But everything keeps rising, and maintaining the price the same is becoming harder and harder and harder and harder. Do I believe it can be a little cheaper, the pizza? 100% yes, because there is a huge margin from the product to the thing, but to the sell point. But I done the math. It spreads very thinly the profit of a pizza place.
Yeah.
Even though, especially if you want to start using high quality ingredient, think about it. A 6-pack of San Marzano 10 years ago used to cost 24, 28, $30. Now it's $65.
Jesus.
Now it's $65 for 6 can of tomato. It's expensive, and the sauce, the amount of sauce you put on a pizza, it's still cents dollar talking point. But then think about how much it's increased.
Yeah.
If you want to choose low quality cheese, it doesn't go less than $7, $8. High quality cheese. There is $7, $8, $9, $11. It depends on what a pound. It depends on what you want versus what you use in Italy. In Italy, the prices are a third or maybe a fourth of what over here. So that's why they managed to sell a pizza for $6, a whole pizza.
Yeah.
But even in Naples, the pizza now is reaching $8, $9 for a margarita.
Yeah.
Like €9 for a margarita.
That's like
expensive as ever been.
It's like if tacos were $6 or something like
Think
that.
about it.
Yeah. No,
and some places are.
Yeah. No, it's true. But not in the truck still. Thank
some
God.
places are.
Daniele, the last question I have for you on this, it's not even a myth. It's more so I am desperate for some instruction on how to go about judging a pizza.
First of all, you have to separate them by style.
Yeah.
wherever you go and judge a pizza, don't make the same assumption that every pizza should be against each other in the same line.
Right.
Like if you judge a Neapolitan pizza against a New York style pizza, they can never compete in the same competition. To
Yes,
me.
right.
They have their own style and then their own way of making, fermenting, putting ingredient on top. So that should be separated. So let's start with Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah.
Neapolitan pizza has to be light when you touch it. Have to have a moderate flop. If it's too floppy, there's too much ingredient, or the ingredients are not cooked right. So if everything slides from the slice, and then you have to pick it up everything with a fork and a knife, that's a sign of something that's not being cooked right.
Yeah.
Especially if you see when they cut the crust, if you see a little dough pressed, also it's not being cooked right.
Right.
You should have a nice honeycomb. Not a spider web, but it's literally a honeycomb. Basically, what happened is the gluten retain the carbon dioxide that the yeast produce, the bacteria produce when they eat sugar and starch. It grows, and the more of those bubbles have, that means the more that process is done right. So and then there's more flavor there. So just try it. It should be light, not resistant to the bite, and very melty, scioglievole in your mouth. You don't have to bite it too much. It's more like a slurp.
Yeah.
That's what I think of Neapolitan pizza.
That's a really good way to put it. And then what about New York?
New York has to have structure.
Yeah.
It's like you hold the slice, it has to make you feel like you're holding a jewelry, or something's like, oh my God, this is imponent. This is, I'm gonna have a.
It's powerful.
Yes, that's how I feel when I eat a New York style. And then there has to have a color that goes from toasty caramel from the bottom to the white and bubbling of the crust.
Yeah.
If not only in the crust per se, but the crust that is underneath the slice.
Right.
If you see the micro bubbling, you are going to have a freaking awesome pizza.
Yes, yeah.
And that's
the micro bubbling in the actual in the dough. You see it throughout the slice. Yeah.
Unless it's stretched super thinly, but you still towards the crust you should see it.
Yeah.
At the end less because it's stretched very thinly. But if you see that, means you're gonna have a mind-blowing pizza.
I always know I'm in for a good one when I see that. What about the color on the bottom? What do you want to see?
Like toasty caramel. If
caramel.
it's black, just don't eat it. Please,
Yeah.
I beg you, don't eat it.
Yeah.
If you like it, it's like, oh no, but I like the char part. Yeah, one bite is fine. The whole pizza, it's very bad for your health.
Yeah. And the crust of a New York, what am I looking for?
The crust of the New York,
Yeah, the crusts.
not too high.
Okay.
You don't want to have this puffy crust on a New York slice. You want to have a nice moderate crust with sign of those spider web, like honeycomb fermentation, crackling. Has to be foldable. I like when it doesn't break, it shatters, because that means it's got cooked too much or the dough is dry.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the party of yesterday in Vegas.
We actually did not party very much.
I know. We went to Cote, right?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Good
nice
steakhouse.
Korean bar. Yeah.
Last myth, which just came to mind because you were talking about this, is somebody got in my comments and was super pissed off because when I'm eating a New York slice, I fold it. And they say if you fold it, it changes the flavor profile of the slice. Am I fucking this up?
I'm thinking a way on why. I mean, if you fold it, when the first bite you're gonna have crust on the first bite. So maybe that's what he meant.
I think that's what he means. Yeah.
I mean, I like folding my slice on New York, and I like they have the bendy property, the pizza.
Right.
But usually when you fold it, you don't fold it that you just sandwich.
No.
You just fold it for holding it.
Right.
And then you still eating it straight. So I don't understand the
And
concept.
actually, when you fold it, like a lot of times when I'm folding these slices, you're folding it to hold it, and the tip is unfolded. You know, like the rest of it is folded.
Because
but
it
the tip,
gives you a structure. No?
Exactly.
There's a line of reinforcement. An architect or an engineer could explain this better. If there's any engineer that would like to comment why when you fold the pizza, the structure stays integral, like I'm reaching out to Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of my favorite. If you want to join on this podcast, it will be a good question for you. Why, when you fold the pizza doesn't flop? Where is the strength on the pizza? I know that, but I want you to join the
Neil, you're welcome anytime. Daniele, this was super fun, man. I'm super excited to go to the Pizza Expo with you right now. Last question we ask all our guests. I think I may have asked you this last time, but you're ripe for telling us again. What are 3 LA restaurants you're loving right now?
Oh my God, I hate this question. I love too many restaurants.
Just tell me.
Have you seen my body?
Oh, please. Just tell me the 3 most recent ones you went to that you were like, you know what? That was good.
I gotta think about it. God, that was good. Where did I went? I don't go out that much right now. God damn it. In LA.
Yeah.
3 LA. Oh, Budonoki.
Okay. We love them.
Budonoki. I will put them at number 1. It's fun. I love the food there. Then the other one will be Holbosch. Holbosch, you brought me there, and it was for the first time.
It
was awesome.
You said it tasted kind of Italian.
No, one dish tasted kind of that. The octopus taco.
Yeah.
Because you make a sofritto to cook the. So Budonogi, Holbosch, and the third one. I'm not gonna put any Italian restaurant because I don't.
You don't like them.
No, I
kidding.
love them.
Kidding.
I love them, but I feel like I when I go out, I tend not to go eat Italians that much because I can cook it at home.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So it's
Pasta is the thing I eat the least out.
no. Plus, I want to experience. I love Asian cuisine, so
Yeah.
I gotta put an Asian restaurants out there. There's 2 Thai restaurants that I love.
Okay.
One is Ananjak,
We love them.
and the other one is Jitlada.
Classics.
So to me, these are the go-to where I go. Budonoki, Holbosch, because it's a new thing that I tried and I loved it. And Jitlada and Ananjak. That's where I go.
Great suggestions. Daniele, always a pleasure to have you on, man.
Pleasure's all mine.
We'll put everything in the show notes, and I'll see you at Pizza Expo.
All right, let's do this. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to our guests for making the time for us. As always, we'll be back with another epic episode next week, but if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Thread, YouTube, even our website at the LA Countdown. You can also find us on Instagram at It's Acquired Taste and at acquiredtastemedia.com. If you like what you heard here today, dear listener, please consider going to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating or review, even a follow. That really helps us. It means the world to us. Thank you so much in advance. Before we wrap, a quick reminder that this episode was brought to you by our friends at mva.wine. If you want to learn more, go back and listen to episode 167 of this podcast dated February 27th of 2026, where I sat down with the founders. They really give you a look inside why this is a special place to find and drink your wine. If you want to discover some truly incredible wines you won't find at stores, check them out at mva.wine/subscribe and use code LAFood for $50 off your first collection. And remember, that offer is only for the first 20 listeners. Let's drink together, dear listener. Enjoy.